Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about Married to Medicine, Season 11, Episode 9.
Not a lot of stuff happened this episode, but we're going to talk about a little bit. Subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. Let's go.
Okay, so you guys know in the beginning we see little short clips and bursts of the ladies at their house and what they're doing. So the only one that really stood out to me was when Sweet Tea was packing up some of Quad's old stuff that she said she's working on getting moved out. And I was like, why would she do this on camera? I was just like, there would be no mention of Quad and her belongings in my house. Like, why was this not taken care of before you got there? We know that Sweet Tea came in and pretty much took over Quad's old life, but to see that kind of like in parallel,
it crazy.
It just was crazy to see.
First of all, why is it still there, Dr. Greg?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like that would have been the first thing I would have did. I would have purged my house. Number two, Sweet Tea, like y'all been married for a minute now. Like that would have been the first thing I would have did. But to do it on camera, it gave off performative.
Yeah. So we're at Toya and Eugene's house. So apparently there's a dance coming up, and her son Avery is talking about how Ashton has like a little secret date to go to the dance. But when Ashton walks in, he says that he doesn't want to go. So Toya is telling him, "You need to go. I'm trying to help you maintain your popular status."
Wow.
We find out that Avery has a girlfriend. This is his fourth girlfriend.
Nice.
And Toya tells him, y'all can have little girlfriends or whatever, but keep it to hugging. Okay. Eugene doesn't want any calls about the boys kissing in the closet at school. He talks about how his dad was strict, so he thinks that he's pretty much strict.
Yeah.
But Toya says he's kind of the one to like talk to them and try to reason with him, so he's not that strict. Next, we have Dr. Jackie and Heavenly. Dr. Jackie got an invite to the White House to be part of the reproductive events.
Okay.
She has already invited Dr. Simone, and she surprises Dr. Heavenly that she will be her second or her +2 to the White House. So Heavenly is super excited to get to go.
Okay, listen here. We already know whenever Dr. Jackie's going to be on camera, it's not. We ain't getting her personal life no more. We ain't getting her anything outside of work. It's going to be work. I'm actually surprised that we actually got to see at least the back of Dr. Jackie's house. You get what I'm saying?
It was beautiful.
But we already used Dr. Jackie for Curtis, so she ain't going to give us nothing personal. It's always going to be something work related.
So Phaedra goes on a date with the guy from the speed dating, Shaq. He got her flowers, and apparently he knows Phaedra's ex, Apollo, and he's also familiar with Apollo's wife.
Okay.
Phaedra says this does not bother her.
I don't know why they brought Phaedra on the show, to be honest. And I don't know what they thought that. I think her reputation is bigger than her actual work in the sense of like, oh, Phaedra go come and she go add a lot to Married to Medicine. It actually make Married to Medicine stand out even more in the sense of like, you're not doing anything. Because it's like now you're doing these speed dating things that it doesn't seem real. Just like last season, she was doing like this like spirituality stuff. It just come off as if it's like, Phaedra, give us something to film with you. And this is basically what she's doing.
Yeah, honestly, if I was Phaedra, I really wouldn't mind if someone I dated knew my ex or his wife or whatever the case may be. They're in Atlanta. And if they all kind of run in similar social circles, they probably come across each other. So I didn't think it was a big deal.
Yeah.
So Jackie, Simone, and Heavenly make their way to the White House. They are telling Heavenly how she needs to act before she gets there. Apparently, she acted okay because we didn't see any headlines.
No, we didn't.
But they did meet on the anniversary of overturning Roe versus Wade. So that was a conversation piece that Kamala Harris was talking about, and the moderator was Chrissy Teigen, and how that has impacted doctors and their practices and the well-being of women. So it was really good, important topic, and it was nice for them to highlight that on this show.
Yes, it is.
So everyone is packing for their trip. Scott tells Contessa that he doesn't want her and Heavenly to ruin the trip for everyone, and Contessa says that, they'll keep their distance.
Okay, nice.
If anything, I think Contessa would ruin the trip because it seems like she always wants to get in an argument with Dr. Heavenly. Either she's saying nothing or she's hollering, and that's why she can go.
I feel like Contessa low-key still wants to be friends with Dr. Heavenly. That's why, like, once they arrive, like, the hug where they on the ground and stuff, where in a way it's like it's playful, but at the same time it's like, play fighting. It's like you still want to be liked by Dr. Heavenly. Contessa comes off a little weird, but I'm happy to have her back, at least for this episode.
Yeah, so we see a clip of where Heavenly invited Apollo onto the trip.
Strange.
she FaceTimes Phaedra, like feigning like she is going to ask her permission, even though she already asked Apollo. And she says, you know, she thinks it would be great for Apollo to come because it could be educational about how people navigate divorce. And you guys could be able to teach Quad and Greg a little something about how to move forward and coexist.
Listen here, man. Heavenly, she just in her producer bag.
She's just trying to be messy.
Exactly. She just trying to create a good scene. She know there's nothing good that's gonna come out of Apollo and Phaedra being in the same place. And then on top of that, like outside of Apollo randomly showing up to the reunion last year, there's no need for Apollo on the show. So it came off as forced. But, you know, Heavenly's going to do her thing.
And Phaedra told her, let it be a surprise. We're going to have a good trip. So I don't know why Phaedra said that. I guess, like, don't tell the other girls because she doesn't really care.
No, she don't.
So Quad is going to be there with King. She says that, you know, Greg still feels uncomfortable being in Quad's presence because he went through so much trauma with her. Quad doesn't really care too much whether Greg and T come. She's asking King if he is going to be comfortable with that. And he says that he doesn't really care. But the reason Quad is asking because there might be some disturbing conversations about our history. And she just wants King to be aware of that.
How do you think they handle that? Like King said, because I don't see why King would care. Right. Number one, this is your ex-husband. Right. Even though it's a weird situation. We both on the show. But like, who am I to feel some type of way? Like, this is like I'm at work with you. You get what I'm saying? So I see why King was like, yeah, I wouldn't feel no type of way. It's Greg that kind of come off as if it was such a bad situation for you, Greg. Now, I don't want to get in the middle of he said, she said type of stuff. But if it was such a bad situation and she moved on to her man and you are obviously moved on with your new wife, like, I don't see how or why it has to be so much turmoil between y'all two. Just don't talk. Like just be there. You get what I'm saying? And we don't have to revisit whatever the trauma or like the past that's so hard for you to think about and things like that. Maybe like they like poking fun at Quad. Like something as simple as Sweet T over here folding her clothes or doing whatever on camera. And Dr. Greg talk about, oh man, you know, that marriage was just so bad. And I'm just like, hey, bro, just move on. Like you already remarried. You already moved on. Just leave it alone.
Yeah, but I feel like it's one thing to move on, but it's another thing to have your ex in your face on a vacation every day. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you guys broke up in a way to where there was accusations of, you know, DV and all these types of things. Like, it's a little bit more than just we broke up, we didn't see eye to eye. There was a lot of anger there. And I get that, you know, people need to try to get past their anger, but you still don't want to see the person if things ended as traumatically as they did.
I understand that, but both of y'all was hating each other. And I saw Dr. Greg fake the seizure on camera when he was talking about Quad and things like that in front of Quad. So it's like both of y'all are toxic, and I understand that it may be hard. But my thing is, hey man, like you got to be mature. You know that you're on the show and things of that nature, and you're at work. You get what I'm saying? So it's like you just got to treat it that way. Especially based off of the preview that we see for next episode. I'm like, how did we get here? You get what I'm saying? Like if you were staying in your corner and he was staying in his corner, how did it get to that point?
Yeah. So everyone makes it to Key West. Heavenly hugs Tisha and Contessa, and Contessa tackles her to the ground playfully. But to me, I think Contessa was just kind of showing Heavenly, I can get with you if I have to.
Yeah.
So the theme of this couples trip is teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work. And they will be kayaking, and they have team t-shirts.
Okay.
So Cecil and Simone put people who had issues in the past on the same team to see if being teammates can help them improve their relationships. Heavenly and Contessa are on the same team.
Okay, nice.
Simone got a shirt in honor of Phaedra that said "these kind of bees," and Simone asked, "What kind of bees do you think we are?" Something along those lines. And Phaedra explains, you know, the bees who have something to say about what Phaedra is or is not going to do. And Quad, you know, steps up for the ladies and says these are educated, successful women, and you minimize these bees, but you don't get it, and it doesn't seem like you got it in the past either. And Phaedra was like, I don't.
Wow. Dude, Dude, like, you think they dragging that whole interaction thing where Phaedra called them the bees and things like that?
Yeah, they're dragging it, but I think it's because they're poking fun at Phaedra because that was disrespectful of what she said. And instead of like getting with her, they're just gonna be like, okay, we're gonna wear the t-shirts and you're gonna have to answer to what you said. And she's still standing 10 toes down to it. Do I think that it's right for her to say that? No, not necessarily. It is very disrespectful. But she felt like they were disrespecting her. So
I feel like they just gonna mean girl her out the group, basically. Like, we just gonna make fun of you or poke fun at you. And the thing about it is, if Phaedra was if she was contributing anything to the show, I think we would look at Phaedra completely different. But the fact that you calling these women this, even though it is disrespectful, and of course when it comes to reality TV shows, that's nothing out of the norm of names being called like that. But it's like, Phaedra, you coming on their show, haven't contributed nothing, haven't added to the show at that. And it's like, you're talking bad about like these people. It's kind of like, yeah, Phaedra, you just don't fit in. You get what I'm saying?
And that's why I feel like heavily bringing Apollo is her way of giving Phaedra an assignment. This is your assignment for this vacation, for you to actually bring something to the show. So they're doing a relay race on kayaks and paddle boards. We've got Jackie, Curtis, T, Greg, and Phaedra on one team, but Curtis is sitting out. I'm glad Curtis is here. It's nice to see him.
Yeah, he's here presently.
We've got Quad, Toya, and Toya's husband, and Quad's man. We have Heavenly, Contessa, and their husbands, and then Simone, Dr. Mimi, and their husbands on different teams. So everybody is getting ready to go, and we will see next week how things pan out. We did see the previews. Whole lot of hollering. It looks like Greg and King are going to get into it,
which I don't even understand how we got there.
But the thing is, I can understand, because if Quad and Greg get into a disagreement, King feels like he has to stand up for Quad, and Quad has told him.
Why is Quad talking to Greg?
And Quad is talking about all of the things that she's probably been through with Dr. G, and he feels like, well, I'm not going to let somebody who allegedly hits on women be out here doing what he did to Quad before. So I just think like tensions were bound to rise.
If I was King, I would like, you have no reason to talk to him. If he was so bad to you, which you say he was, and things of that nature, and we seen you shake hands and act at least like adults when y'all was in the same room and things like that, you have no reason to talk to him.
Yeah.
So even if it is the truth, it don't have to be said in this moment, because we're not the only ones on this trip. So if I was King, I would have made sure I told my woman, like, don't talk about that. Time and place. This ain't the time. This ain't the place. That's the past. Greg absolutely have no reason to talk to King. You get what I'm saying? Like, literally no reason to. Yeah. Have no reason to talk to Quad.
Yeah.
He's remarried. You get what I'm saying? He has a whole new life. He has other issues that he have to deal with and things of that nature. So that's why I'm like, it just comes off as very forced, as if it's a lot of ego, as if it's like it. I wonder how Sweet Tea felt. You get what I'm saying? But, she probably knew this was going to happen because, she married the man, she moved into the house and still got the woman clothes in the house.
And on the same woman show.
It's just weird. You know what I mean? Yeah. Anything else?
That's it.
This was a very filler episode. Make sure y'all subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. We see y'all.
Bye.